A reading from the Holy Gospel according to Luke, chapter 14, verses 1 and 7 to 14. The passage is taken from the Message version of the Bible. One time when Jesus went for a Sabbath meal with one of the top leaders of the Pharisees, all the guests had their eyes on him, watching his every move. Right before him, there was a man hugely swollen in his joints. So Jesus asked the religious scholars and Pharisees present, "Is it permitted to heal on the Sabbath? Yes or no?" He went on to tell a story to the guests around the table, noticing how each had tried to elbow into the place of honor. He said, "When someone invites you to dinner, don't take the place of honor. Somebody more important than you might have been invited by the host. Then he will come and call out in front of everybody, 'You are in the wrong place. The place of honor belongs to this man.' Embarrassed, you will have to make your way to the very last table, the only place left. When you are invited to dinner, go and sit at the last place. Then, when the host comes, he may very well say, 'Friend, come up to the front.' That will give the dinner guests something to talk about. What I am saying is, if you walk around all high and mighty, you are going to end up flat on your face. But if you are content to be simply yourself, you will become more than yourself." Then he turned to the host. "The next time you put on a dinner, don't just invite your friends and family and rich neighbors, the kind of people who will return the favor. Invite some people who never get invited out, the misfits, from the wrong side of the tracks. You will be and experience a blessing. They won't be able to return the favor, but the favor will be returned. Oh, how it will be returned! At the resurrection of God's people." The Gospel of the Lord.
Good morning. Welcome to Coffee with God, and I am Father Joseph Matthew. Today, on the 31st of August, let us reflect on the Holy Gospel according to St. Luke, chapter 14, verses 1 and 7 to 14. Take the last place and find Christ. When Jesus sits at a table, he never sits only to eat. He transforms the meal into a lesson of love, humility, and fraternity. In today's Gospel, Jesus is invited to dine in the house of a Pharisee. He is watched closely, judged, as if he were under a microscope. But Jesus does not worry about appearances. He notices the eagerness of the guests to claim the best seats, to be seen as important. And then he tells a parable that reveals the heart of the kingdom of God. Those who exalt themselves will be humbled, and those who humble themselves will be exalted. Jesus shows us a new way of living. In a society, and sometimes even in our own communities, we are tempted to seek the first places. We want recognition, influence, and seat of honor. But in God's banquet, there is only one seat reserved, the last place, the place of service. And it is there that we find Jesus himself, who came not to be served, but to serve, who went down to wash the feet of his disciples, and who gave his life for us on the cross. This is true greatness, to make ourselves small so that others may be lifted up. Jesus goes even further. He tells us whom to invite, not our friends or rich neighbors who can repay us, but the poor, the crippled, the blind, the lame. In other words, those who cannot give us anything in return, those who are often invisible or unwanted in society. This is the heart of the gospel, gratuity. Love that is not calculated, not traded, not exchanged for favors. Love that reflects the very love of God, who gives us everything freely. This challenges us deeply. How many times do we close the doors of our hearts or our homes because we are afraid of inconveniences? How often do we prefer to surround ourselves with those who think like us, who look like us, who can benefit us in some way? Jesus reminds us that the church, his community, is not a club of the perfect, but a banquet open to everyone, especially those who carry wounds, weaknesses, and burdens. Dear brothers and sisters, let us ask ourselves today, where do I place myself in the table of life? Do I seek the first place, or am I content with the last? Do I welcome those who cannot repay me, or do I prefer those who give me security and comfort? The gospel invites us to conversion, to move from self-interest to generosity, from pride to humility, from exclusion to welcome. In the end, our reward is not what others think of us, nor the recognition we receive, but the embrace of the Father who calls us his beloved children. Let us then walk the path of humility, open our hearts to those in need, and rediscover the joy of a life lived as a gift. In choosing the last place, we will find ourselves closest to Christ, who makes all things new.